Welcome to Perpetual Backlog Podcast, your gaming podcast that talks about anything gaming related, gaming adjacent, all games, nothing but games. Um, this is Aqua, as usual, and joining me is our capybara that likes every single soundtrack in the world, Dalit.
In monochrome melodies, our tears are painted in red. Hi.
And our pajama pizza monster, Leek.
Arg.
Truly, fiercely.
Yeah. So, Dalit and I beat a secret boss this week.
Yes.
That motherfucker is a monster.
It's genuinely pretty hard, actually.
That guy is scary.
I'm so happy I stocked up on like a bunch of items beforehand.
Yo, I sped run that fucking demo because I was like, I can't. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, man, I ain't got time to really be messing with this. So I dropped it. I put it at normal. I went and collected all the weapons that I needed to, that I was gonna use, really, or the characters that I was actually gonna use, and went in. I did it on story first, and apparently, even if you beat the Mantis in under 5 minutes, you don't get the secret boss in story mode.
I guess
So
that
you have
makes sense.
you have to do it on normal. So I did it on normal. I beat that Mantis in fucking at 4 minutes and 54 seconds. I was so close to not doing to not getting it.
We should clarify for those who aren't in the know. This is in reference to the Tales of Arise demo.
Yeah, of course. That's all we talk about. Tales of Arise.
It's
We're like
getting
in
near to it.
perpetual Tales of Arise waiting room.
I have not been waiting room for much longer.
No, it won't be waiting room for much longer. Thank God. But yeah, we beat the secret boss in Tales of Arise demo. Dalit did it on a difficulty higher than me, and I'll have to go back and beat him. But
If you can do it on hard, I'll let you have that
no,
win. I'm
man,
not going to do it on hard.
if I will have to grind out a bunch of accessories, all right, to get the best roll on accessories. I will have to take Omega's route and just spam fucking Rinwell.
She looked really, really strong in that encounter. Like
Oh,
I knew she was going to be strong, and like, from playing as her, she feels really good, and the ability to stock magic is really cool. But seeing it actually in use, just the
yeah,
amount of time she can hit critical location. Oh God,
she's a
she's gonna be an
monster.
absolute monster. Yeah.
Yeah, she might actually be like. Well, we don't know how everybody else plays in the entire game, like at a higher level extent, because we didn't even get access to skill panels in this game. So
It's true.
there could be game breaking shit for Alphen or like for Kisara or something like that.
Almost certainly
But
will be.
but in the demo, I honestly think the most broke character is Renwell. She's the most mobile caster I think Tails has ever had.
Without a doubt. Like, who
Um,
could possibly come close to that?
I mean, Rita's as quick as casting. After you get her to a certain point, because then every one of her
Yeah.
casts is blah blah blah.
Yeah, but she's
that,
always stuck in place. The upside to
Yeah.
Rinwell is you can subtly move out of the way
Yes.
of attacks.
Yeah. And then R2 you can just fucking dodge.
Yes. Oh God,
So
yes.
yeah, so it's ridiculous. Anyway, that secret boss is as soon as I got into the fight with it, it one shot Shion, and I was like, oh, okay, that's on normal. I mean, again, I sped run the demo to get to the end real quickly, so I didn't really actually prepare outside of eating the attack 15% food and getting some base accessories for most of the characters that I was going to be using. But it's he's a strong boy, and I don't look forward to attempting to fight him on hard. God forbid that there are trophies for this game that say beat these bosses on hard mode. I don't think there will be, because Tails doesn't normally do that. But
yeah, I hope not. That would be rough.
There might be beat the game on hard mode, which in the end will probably be pretty easy, especially if there's new game plus. Um, so yeah, that was fun. Speaking of Tales, I beat Zestiria this week.
Congratulations.
Thank God. It, you know, after playing it the second time, I have. It's still the shitty. It's still the second shittiest Tales game I've ever played. I was about to say the shittiest Tales game. That's Symphonia 2, and that will always be on the stronger than F tier list. Um, Zestiria has a bit of charm to it in some points, especially after you beat Berseria and you recognize a lot of things in that game. It helps it greatly if you play Berseria.
Yeah, because
But
you're more what's the word I want to go with? Compelled
you're
by the
yeah
world.
yeah you're more because like I thought Zestiria's world was good before I even played Berseria. I actually liked Zestiria's world. Um, and I liked the later half of the story is actually pretty good. After you when you get to the point where you start knowing everything is when it gets good. Um, who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
But there's just a lot of I'm gonna go back and do some of the extra content. There's these isles that you can go to. Um, if you teleport from the final area, you can go to these isles and fight um there are cameo characters you can fight. Them being Sophie and Jade. So that's pretty nice. There's the Alicia DLC that I need to play, which is like some years after the events of Zestiria, where you play as Alicia and Rose. And yeah, that's good. And then I started Berseria, which was the immediately the better game of pretty much all of the Tales games that have came out in the past decade.
It's the most recent up until now, so that makes
Yeah,
sense.
so good. And then I'm like going through each area, and I'm just like, this isn't Zestiria, but it looks completely different because it's been 1,000 years, and there's a lot of stuff that happens in that thousands of years. Like I'm pretty sure. So the main city in Zestiria, well, one of the main cities in Zestiria is called Pendrago. All right. In Berseria, it's called Logris, and it's the place where Artorias pronounces himself as the shepherd, which he's the first shepherd. Um, who would have thought the first shepherd's a fucking dick? Uh,
What?
yeah. Anyway, uh, the cities are the same, and they have a similar layout, but I assume somewhere in that thousands of years, Logris has been either like part of Logris might have been like destroyed or something because there's obviously things that are out of place. But I mean it's been 1,000 years, so uh, you know people change where castles are at. I mean when you go into the Shrine Church is almost the same layout and everything. I'm at the point where I'm at Lohengrin Tower, which is a place in Zestiria, but it's in the middle of a desert. And when you go to it in Berseria, it's like a luscious green land that has like geysers and everything. So it's a really stark contrast between the two because like after 1,000 years, this place is turned into a desert. There's like a small little oasis in Zestiria that's in this area. And they changed the name. It's called like Zafgraf Malt or something like that. Some weird fucking Tales name. And and the tower you go to in Zestiria is completely like almost half destroyed. But when you go to it in Berseria, it's a full tower. It's where exorcists or the people that can have seraphim or malachim attached to them. That's where they train. In Berseria, you get Melchior does like a weird like illusion trick on Eisen and makes him think Edna's there for a second, and so you see like half of Edna's like legs or whatever in that point. It kind of fucks him up.
Hmm.
Uh, God, I'm like 15 to 20 hours into Berseria. It's so good. The so I got Eleanor today, and I immediately just swapped Eleanor because Eleanor is so much fun to play as. It is
I agree.
ridiculous. It is ridiculous. She is even more fun to play as than Velvet, and Velvet's actually really fun to
Well,
play as.
well, she's up there.
Like, so I spent like half of the day today trying to figure out how to do Eleanor's second Mystic Art. Because you get their Mystic
Her
Arts like really
first
easy.
Mystic Art is Lost Fun Drive, right?
No, her first Mystic Art is Spiral Hail, which is just like,
Ah, so
like
her
she just
second Mystic Art is Lost
guard
Fun
is Lost
Drive.
Fun Drive,
Okay.
yeah. And you have to so the description for how you or do it says, upon hitting an 8-hit combo and you have a BG of 4, which is Blast Gauge, you hold L2 to do the thing. So it's not an 8-hit combo. All right? You have to combo 8 arts. So it's very poorly worded because it's easy to
Fair
get an
enough.
8-hit combo, all right? But you
Yeah,
have
lots of
to
vertex are multi-hitting.
yeah, you have to combo 8 arts, which is after you get like 4, you're at like 4 soul gauge or whatever. That's pretty easy to do because a lot of her attacks will stun enemies, which will immediately get you another soul like another soul diamond or whatever. Um and every time you hit her soul break, which is like, flipping them up into the air or whatever, it replenishes it, like, keeps the combo going and everything. So it's like really easy to fucking do 8 arts in a row, unless they're an asshole enemy and they like fucking attack you through your attacks. Lost Phone Drive's so good. It's so good. It's such a good Mystic Art. Yeah, so I'm an Eleanor main all the way up to the end because she is
Hey,
just honestly she's kind of broken.
a lot
She
of them feel that way though in Berseria.
Yeah, I don't really like playing as Magilu. I don't really like playing as casters.
She's the one I have an issue. I have an issue with not because she's bad, but because it's difficult and
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
really
good at
weird.
her.
Laffysette's okay to play as.
Yeah,
He's
Laffy
he's just
Rokuro. I
he's just
struggle
a
with
caster.
Aizen as well for whatever reason, but that's purely a me thing.
So Aizen's weird because his arts kind of his arts are kind of like Eleanor's arts, where it displaces you from the enemy you're attacking a lot, because it's a lot of movement.
Hmm.
And obviously a lot some of his arts are casting arts. Rokuro is so good to play as because they
Yeah,
make you play as Rokuro against that when you run into Shigure, and he has that they have that like little 1v1. And I was like, okay, so I hadn't played a Rokuro at all through this entire game, so I had to like stop, like throw a bunch of like arts in like the way that I want them in there. And then I started playing him, and I was like, oh my god, he is literally the epitome of guard dodge attack. Because every time Shigure goes to attack and you just fucking dodge, you just like immediately break his like attack. I won that fight technically, or like I got his health down to
technically.
where I got his health down to where you needed to, and it wasn't that Shigure fucking beat Rokuro's ass into the ground. So yeah, I am hopefully going to get through this game. I mean, I'll definitely get through this game before Rise comes out. That's no doubt. Because I'm like, I guess I'm over a quarter of the way through, pushing up on the halfway point, I assume. Um,
Nice.
and if I have enough time, I do plan on starting Exilia at some point. Yeah, I went and got a copy of
Hmm.
Exilia, and so hopefully I can finish Berseria super fast. So I don't think even if I start Exilia, I don't think I'll get through it before Arise comes out.
Oh,
Um,
you'd have to like no life it, I
I
think.
yeah, I would need a couple of days off in a row. And I do get 2 days off in a row next week. Like I have 2 days off in a row right now, which I'll be using to blast through Berseria. But I don't think I'll get through Berseria until like Thursday, like all the way through it until like Thursday, and then I'll start Exilia, and I might have the time to get through it, but I don't know. Exilia is pretty long actually. So, other than that, I played Monster Hunter Stories 2.
So I'm curious,
And
did you pick up the game itself, or are you still just playing through the demo at the moment?
no, I picked up the game itself.
Okay,
I found a half off um
that's a good deal.
coupon for it. That game's really fun. That game is better than Pokemon. I'll go ahead and say it. You don't go around catching monsters like you would in Pokemon. You just go around and grab their eggs. But holy hell, that game is so much more fun than Pokemon, and it's honestly and obviously it's more high rent.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
animation's so good in that game. I
I
made my
did
character.
play
I
the
made my.
demo on your
Oh yeah,
recommendation, and it felt really good. So I
yeah.
definitely see why you
Animations
picked
are
it up.
super good. Well, my friend was like my friend was playing it on Switch, and he was like, "Oh, I found a place where you can get it half off or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah," and he went and got it, and so it's co-op as well, so it's like a 2-player co-op you can play. Yeah, you guys, you should get it, and we can we can fight some monsters together, man.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah, fight some monsters. Uh, what else in Monster Hunter Stories too? Yeah, I mean it's just oh yeah, I made my character look like Nagatoro from the Nagatoro anime, which actually worked out pretty well. I was like I was like cycling through like faces or whatever, and I was like, holy shit, I can make her look like Nagatoro, and then I was cycling through hairstyles, and there's a hairstyle that's like kind of close to hers, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make Nagatoro.
Mm,
I will. I mean, do you know who Nagatoro looks like?
not even a little bit.
Well,
Or if I do, I
anyway,
don't know the name anyway.
uh, that's all I played this week. It's it's pretty fun. I think I loaded up 14 at some point in time. Oh, I got my Samurai to 80. That's what I did.
Ah, grats.
Um, yeah, that's all I did this week. Here is a picture of Nagatoro.
Oh, I've seen them on the internet. Yes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's all I did this week. What'd you guys do?
Luke, what did you get
Guess.
into? Oh,
Guess.
okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a mix of D&D and Final Fantasy 14
Okay.
again. Yeah, I mean, I've got stuff to talk about because for 14, actually doing a charity thing with a friend over the weekend. 'Cause it was also
Oh,
their
very cool.
birthday, and they combined it with charity stream as well. So I was doing that, just shooting it on stream. But also, I did the Arise event because Final Fantasy 14 is
Yes.
celebrating 8 years since 2.0 was released and Yoshi P saved the day.
Yeah.
Yes. How is that going this year?
I mean, it's a nice story. You get a very nice parasol and stuff like that. I won't spoil the story, but
Ah,
And a big
it's
old thank
Yoshi
you from
P once
Yoshi P.
again. Yeah, big old thanks once again. As his 14 self appears, that bad bloke. And but I gotta say though, I was reminiscing on like the 2015 Rising event because that's when you get pulled through time and space into basically the devs office, and
oh
you
Yeah.
meet all
yeah.
the crew. That was the best one.
It's been my favorite one. Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, I was like watching a video about that over the weekend as well. And what else? Other news is oh yeah, new Shadowbringers side stories to read. Is it Tales
Oh
of the
yeah.
Shadows?
Tales of the Twilight.
Yeah, Shadows.
I thought it was Twilight.
Tales
'Cause-
from the Shadows. That's what it says in the link.
Oh, well, it's weird
The first
because
one might be
at,
called
at,
something different though.
at this literally just like read it on stream, and he said it was Tales of the Twilight.
Might
Well,
be that they're labeled separately.
Maybe.
There are separate stories.
Aha, there we go.
Oh, did they do a Shadows and Twilight?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, which one was just
Anywho,
released?
I'm looking at a link that says Shadows, but it doesn't matter. Anyway,
Hmm.
regardless, there are new stories out.
Yeah. What happened in this one?
Oh, the individual story is called the Twilight one. Yes.
Okay, yeah. What
Anyway,
happened? It was a Yugiri one. It was something about Yugiri and Hien in this one.
yeah.
Oh, okay. It's nice to check back up on them.
Yeah. They go back. And there is also a weapons art contest.
A weapons. Oh, for the community
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very
So
cool.
they've
It's
done
been a
this.
while.
They've done this before with haircuts. They've done this before with armor and furniture, and now it's weapons. You can find that on the English Twitter for links for more details.
Oh goodness, I'll be clicking on that link. I want to see what people come up with.
Yeah. There've been quite a number of good ones and also very funny ones. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing what they do this time.
Yes. Yes. Hey guys, don't forget to sub to the channel if you're into what you're hearing. While you're down there, remember to like the video as much as we like you. You'll be good now.
And that's it, really. Otherwise, I've been playing. Yeah, like I said, the charity stream was also D&D related, so I did a big one shot too that lasted a few hours, and I'm very sleepy.
Oh, can you tell us a
Ooh.
bit about it?
I mean, this is someone who DMs for me every week.
Mhm.
And basically their one shot was very much zombie horde based, so we got to shoot lots of guns. It was fun.
Oh yeah. And it was for a good cause.
Yeah. Oh, that was it, really. Look at me yawning. Ugh.
Ugh. Busybody. Very tired.
Yeah, no, like I've had lack of sleep too due to family illness, so yeah, busy.
I had lack
Well.
of sleep due to being third shift boy this week.
Oh yeah, you had it
Oh,
rough.
really? Really, you
Yeah.
got third shift? Shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got third shift. Leak has round the clock shift at the moment. Seems I'm the lucky one this week, which feels a bit out of place. I have an actual off week. It's gonna be grand. I'm gonna do
Yay.
nothing. Of course, that's what I
Play.
said last week, and I ended up going to 2, 3 workshops. So we'll see. But in between those workshops, I also played a bunch of games. Like Aqua said, I managed to get through the Arise demo again. I've pretty much played. I think I've played as everyone as my lead except for Doaline, and he's next. Uh, I think. I mean, it's really weird. I've never really cared to play as the casters, save for Rita. And Rinwell and Shion both feel amazing. They might be two of my favorite characters to play as. I don't
Yes.
know if they edge out Kisara yet, but they might. And yeah, no, I've pretty much took some time, gathered up everything I needed, and blitzed through the Mantis boss fights in like 4 minutes 30 on moderate. I also faced the secret boss. It was really strong.
Yes.
It was really strong. Like, to be fair, it's super doable, so I don't necessarily know if it's undertuned or overtuned, especially since I feel like all the characters feel super overtuned in the demo.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a blast. Like I'm really enjoying this. Um I miss demos. I miss like legitimately good demos, and this felt
Yeah.
like that.
It is nice to get good demos.
Yeah, like I it's kind of how I felt about the Monstrum Nox demo, except that this is a better game. Clearly has more money and a whole lot more time put into it.
Arise
But yeah,
feels like what Monstrum Nox should have felt like.
yeah,
Oh, really?
I think this is definitely the direction that East like really wants to aim to get to in the next so many years. And
Yeah.
I believe in
Mm-hmm.
them. But for now, like this was the most refined Tales game I've played. And I really enjoyed like testing myself against the monster once I found out that it wasn't going to be RNG. I have no inclination to fight that thing on hard though. I would need to put
Is
more
it?
time into the game.
It's awful.
I pretty much brute forced that fight with Affin because I could manually trigger the Mr. card.
Yeah.
I see, I see.
Though even then it's conditional, and I won't
I,
lie, seeing what Omega did with Rinwell, I kind of want to give it a go.
yeah. Rinwell's so
Also,
good.
I am stand corrected. It is Tales of the Twilight. I'm fucking knackered. So good
Yeah, no, you're
me, good
tired. No
brain,
worries.
brain
That's
stuff.
why I was just like,
No, no, no. I
know
admit when I'm wrong. Yeah.
I know I'm not crazy.
Yes. It's cool. No, no, it's just me being crazy. Okay. Anyway. Oh God,
I
stop.
No, it's fine. You're allowed to be tired. You've been busy. Outside of that, I started Tales of Zillia, which I plan to finish, but I have worries that after this particular podcast, Zillia is going to go on pause for a couple of days.
Why? Because I said it was long?
No, because I am 1000% going to play 10. From the moment I
Oh.
was putting together my list, I started Tales of Zillia, or like all the various themes, Fantasy 10 playing. I've just felt so calm and nostalgic. I've not been at peace like this for a while. So, yep,
Haven't you
I'm gonna
already
go be
did your
10 years
replay
old
this year?
again. I haven't had the time.
Okay. All right.
But I'll play
Alright.
through that. It'll only take a couple of days, and I'll be back to Zillia because I'm enjoying that. I've been playing primarily as Jude because my goodness, he feels good to play as.
Why wouldn't you?
I just picked up Rowan. There you go.
Yeah.
So I'm off to save the prince, king.
King.
He's young, but he's a king. And it's been good. It's been good. I have no qualms with this, but also Arise. I really want to play that, and this is not that.
No, it is not.
It does feel good though. I do enjoy it. I have a couple of gripes here and there, but honestly, it's so of its time that they're not even really issues.
Yeah, I mean it's a PS3 game, so
You have no idea how hard it is for me to keep that straight in my head. Like we're at PS5. Like this game is genuinely old, and it holds up really well.
yeah. No, I is what this is like what I said like a couple of episodes ago. It's like I can just keep going back to Exilia. It's just so much fun.
I'm understanding that. I think, and it's kind of an unfair comparison because I'm so early on. I think by the end I'm still going to prefer Berseria, but yeah,
Oh
this game
no,
feels really good.
Berseria's leagues ahead. Like the battle system in Berseria is just too fun. Like as I was playing earlier today, I'm just like sitting here like I don't. So I know in Tales games I normally throw on holy bottles after a certain point in time because I just don't want to get into fights. I don't do that in Berseria. I'm
Yeah,
just like come fight me. Give me a dangerous encounter, please.
honestly, if they ever put Jude in the Berseria engine as a non-fight, like if you could play as him, oh my goodness, I would have found my favorite Tales character to play as.
Oh yeah, because you do fight him in Berseria.
Yeah, I was I was saying that. I was like, wait, no, he's the cameo battle. Hold on.
No, he gets to fuck you up.
Yeah, he gets to fight in this, and that's good for him. But I want to do the things. But yeah, that was mostly what I got to. I've a lot of my time. Like I said, I did still go to 3 workshops, so I've been busy outside of the house. And what time I have spent, it's been so long since I just got to sit in a Discord chilling with people, and Aqua, you've been into it, so
Yeah.
that's mostly what I've been doing as I play. So been really just taking in this short break I have.
Sweet. I love playing Tales. Like I was telling a friend like earlier. I was like, because I'm obviously I'm gonna have some time between beating Berseria and Arise coming out, and I'm just gonna like, I need to keep this, I guess, streaming thing up at least until after Arise, and I'm like, I don't want to play I don't want to play a non-Tales game before Rise. Just want to keep that like momentum going. And I was like, oh, I'll just fucking get a copy of Exilia because I just love Exilia.
I don't blame you. I don't blame
I'll
you.
just I'll play that in the. I mean, unless I'm beating Berseria on Monday or something like that, or Sunday night, and I only have like a couple days until Arise. I'm just then at that point I'll just take a couple days break because I'll be fucking going ham because I have off the 9th to the 15th.
Goodness.
For Arise, so I'm gonna go ham. Chances are my collector's edition probably won't be here the day before Arise actually releases, so I'll just have to throw some money to get the digital version so I can play as early as I can. But hopefully they send it out and it gets here like day before, because I hate getting day of. And then I'll just play Arise until I die.
Yeah, that
So.
sounds about right.
Yeah. But that's all you did this week?
That's mostly it.
All right.
I mean,
well, yeah. Well, I mean, you do school. That's
exactly.
you live. That's what you do.
I did
You
it.
live.
I made it.
So we do have a question, but it falls in line with our topic this week, in which if
Really?
anybody listened to us last week, we said that we were going to do gaming OSTs this week. So Little asks to go along this week's topic, because for some reason he has insider knowledge. What is your favorite video game track, excluding anything from an MMO?
Damn, it was gonna be to the edge. Oh no, I know what it is. Easy. The original 1, 2, and 3 versions of the Metal Gear opening theme. Before they had to
Dun,
change it
dun,
out
dun.
for the man.
Dun, dun,
Chills
dun.
every time. I love that opening theme so much. Yeah, even listening back and seeing that it clearly did bite off that Russian piece, I was like, I really wish they kept it. Oh, I really wish they kept it. It's so good.
I'm the same. I like every time I hear the MGS2 opening, I'm just like, so
Yep, that's the
good.
de facto version of it. It shows up
Yeah.
in 3, but 2 is like the high. It's the height of that theme.
Yeah. I love watching like little AMVs with that music over it. I'm just like, oh, it's so good. It's just so hype.
It's so good.
Okay. All right. Leak.
Sorry, could you repeat?
What is your all-time favorite video game track that isn't from an MMO?
One of those hard questions for you.
No, it's not hard. Right. So I've got a
Really?
list of tracks I usually listen to while I work. Like
You can name
pretty
one,
much
though?
every.
Yeah, can you name one of them?
Yes, I would
Oh,
have to
wow.
say it would be literally Chrono Trigger by from Chrono Trigger.
I can't blame that. That's a good show.
It's so fucking catchy.
Yes. Oh my goodness, we're going to talk about how I feel about new music versus older music in a bit,
Yeah.
and that word is going to come up a lot.
Very catchy.
Yeah, I love all of Chrono Trigger's like music soundtrack, but whenever that comes on, I'm literally punched in the face with nostalgia. It's wonderful.
Yes.
Yes, I understand that. So I have a dilemma with mine. All right.
Is it that it's not as easy as it was for me and Link?
It's between two. So between two tracks, all right? The first track, almost any iteration of Dearly Beloved.
That's so valid.
Almost any. That even includes Kyle Landry.
How many years have we listened to Kyle Landry remix that?
Every fucking year. I'm like, it's Christmas time. Oh, Kyle Landry probably has a new fucking
Probably
Dearly
does.
Beloved out. Actually, Dearly Beloved 2012 is probably the best one he's done. Or it was either 2012 or 2010. One of those two. I'd have to go back and actually listen. The other track is a newer track from my actual now favorite video game series, It is the ending song to Trails of Cold Steel 3. It's called Morning Refrain. That song is probably one of the best cliffhanger songs I had ever listened to in my life. And every time I listen to it, I'm just like, man, if I could go back and replay and like wipe Cold Steel 3 out of my brain and replay Cold Steel 3 and then get to the part where, you know, blank spoiler says spoiler, and then all you hear is doosh, and then the music starts. I'm just like, oh. It's so good. It's like it's as we would say, it's a very catchy song. But it's just one of those songs like so the lyrics for that song is it's very what's the word
Oh,
I'm
I thought you were
looking
going to
for?
serenade us for a moment.
No. There's there's Japanese lyrics in this song, so I could not do this. But there it is if you guys want to listen to it while I'm talking. So it's very the music makes you feel like, oh my god, like something wrong has happened and you don't know what's about to happen. But the lyrics of it, like literally one of the lyrics, like it says everything is gonna be all right, or it's gonna be all right, which makes you think like, okay, you know, a lot of shit just happened at the end of Cold Steel 3, as Dalit knows because he's played it.
Oh yeah.
And and while that song is like just makes you feel like, oh my god, it's ending, it also is like, okay, you know, I have 120 hours left to go in this series, so my boy Rain cannot be like completely fucked the way he is right now. So it's gonna be all right. It's a tie between those two because I can listen to the song over and over and over and over and over again. And Dearly Beloved hits me in the big nostalgia because obviously I was a huge Kingdom Hearts
100%.
fan. And Yoko Shimomura just like fucking kills it with this song, with Dearly Beloved. And it's every iteration of it because like every time you just hear the melody, it's just... Actually, and this is probably the only compliment I'll give to Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3's Dearly Beloved fucking hits you so fucking hard because it's like so quiet at the start, and then just fucking everything comes in
That's
like 15 seconds into it. It's just like, oh my god, I think I cried actually when I first heard it.
I
really sucked.
It's really good.
Really sucks because Kingdom Hearts 3 sucked. But yeah, those are. If I had to pick, it would probably be Dearly Beloved. Like just off the base of because I have to put on fucking rose tinted glasses for it.
Nostalgia's a hell of a thing, man.
But Morning Refrain is literally like if it wasn't nostalgia, Morning Refrain would beat it out. That's my answer. So there you go, Little. Thank you for starting us off, Little. All right. So we're gonna get this out of the way. Soken is a god.
He absolutely is.
Literally.
Yes, correct.
Literally, Dal and I were talking about this like 30 minutes ago. So, the scary thing about Soken is that he literally one-ups himself every single fucking time he puts out a new song, or like he does anything, in like every expansion he's just better.
It's incredible.
It's just better. And like
it's not even that he one-ups himself though. It's that he has to do it so regularly and he kills it every time.
And it's just extremely consistent. And we were comparing him obviously because the closest person we have to compare him to is Uematsu. While Uematsu did the same thing, but over a spanning of decades, right? Soken has done this in the span of in the span of 8 years.
It's like he's been a monster since the very beginning. Like post ARR and into Heavensward, the man put out theme after theme, piece after piece, anthem after anthem, born of dragonfire, tempered in blood and
Yeah.
reforged in light. Oh, it's so good. But seriously,
Uh
like it's been crazy what he's managed to do, and it's not to take away from Uematsu, who I will dwell on just for a moment, so that clearly we're not going to play favorites here. We love Final Fantasy. Even
Mhm.
if you think back to let's go 1.0, three songs that stand out to me immediately are three nation state songs: Twilight over Thanlin, which is still one of my favorite pieces;
yeah.
Navigator's Glory, which was definitely one of my favorite pieces when I first like started looking into 14; and Born from the Bows, which is Gridania's. I think Born from the Bows is probably the weakest. I do much prefer Whalers and Water Wheels, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah.
Like the Gridania theme. But yeah, like frankly, I don't know how Uematsu did it either, because insofar as I understand, he never saw what his pieces would be set up against, and they're still great.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like
But
the city states
Soken's
music, yeah, city states music all it will hold the I was gonna say the edge of time. No, we'll hold, like they'll stand still to the end of time. They'll still be great, but it's just like some of it's like really unfortunate because everything after that has just been Soken hitting after hitting after hit. Like I don't think Soken's made a bad song. I
No,
don't actually
I don't think so.
I literally don't think in the history of Final Fantasy 14, I don't think there is a single song in 14 that I absolutely hate, and I'm not counting Papaya.
Well, so here's the thing. Even the songs that seem like memes, right, end
Yeah,
up being so charming. Like Papaya Lahi, which I think is just the Raktika Greatwood
yeah, Rock Take
Evening.
Greatwood. Yeah. No, yeah, it's the one that's always there. Well, it's not evening. It was there
Is
during the
it the day
light.
theme?
It's
It's the
day theme, yeah,
it's
yeah,
the
because
day theme. Okay.
you don't get the night theme until it's
Um,
nighttime.
I forget Titania's theme's name, but even that theme, which oh boy,
Yeah.
it took a second for me to get used to exactly. Like they're all great, and he marches forward, just killing it, doing one better again and again, all and again, leading to his magnum opus, To the Edge, which is so good. I have no idea what he's gonna do to make it better. Or not make it better, but put out something that is even like just to that degree, much less can surpass it. And he's going to. He's done it every time thus far. He will find a way to produce a bigger, better, more appropriate, heart wrenching song.
And he
He's,
wrote
oh my goodness.
To the Edge in his bed in the hospital.
He's a Terminator. He can't be stopped.
Can't be stopped. Yeah. If anybody didn't know, we're Soaking Simps on this
Oh, no,
podcast.
unabashed. Unabashed.
That guy's God, literal God. He stands next to Yoshi P, who is also a literal God.
And then they both cry, and then we all cry. It's great.
Yeah. Like you've been exorbitantly quiet during our Final Fantasy Love Fest over here.
As you know, I am busy. I'm kind of looking after someone,
Oh, okay, yeah.
so
So,
please forgive me if I'm quieter than usual.
This is fine.
yeah. That aside, while because I mean, I own a couple of 14 soundtracks,
Same.
because
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
why
have
why
a few
wouldn't I?
albums.
I if they weren't
I
quite as
have
expensive as they
them.
were, and it might not stop me if I come into a bit of money, I want the vinyl sets, at
Oh
least
yeah,
for Heaven's Word and Shadowbringers.
Shadowbringer. Yeah.
Hmm, hmm.
Um. You so like when I think of video game soundtracks, obviously I go back in time. There's there's Kingdom Hearts because Yoko Shimomura is also a god.
She's so
Um,
good. So immediately recognizable too.
um, there's the JDK Falcon band that does both East and Trails. While I it's really hard for me to say this, but I think Trails gets the better of them because it has Trails has actually if you play Cold Steel, the first song you run into that isn't the opening because you get the opening like right before the even start screen. Um, the first song you hit is Atrocious Raid, and that's honestly probably the best, one of the best pieces of music you can start a video game out with. It just immediately throws you into the thick of it with Atrocious Raid, and it's just godly. Um, but I also think of and I forget what his name is, but I think it's Matsuraba, or he's the guy that does the Tales. He does the Tales soundtracks. He's been a god for like years. I mean, some of his stuff doesn't hit as well because like there's some like battle themes that I don't immediately think of, but like I immediately think of like Brisaria's battle theme's really good. Zillia's battle theme's really good. Abyss's battle theme's actually really good.
I think that's fair. I kind of foreshadowed this when I was chatting when we were all chatting before, but music kind of, especially when it comes to games, falls into, for me at least, two categories. There are the singular pieces that stand out and like really you can listen to whenever you want, right? The ones that just like they're bigger than the game they're from.
No, Sakuraba is the name.
There you go. And then there's the second type, which is they are so intrinsically linked to their game that you have like it's you might not be able to on a whim just hum out the theme, but once you're in the game, you know it. Boom, you're there with it.
Yeah.
There's also a third category for me. It was I can listen to the soundtrack and play the game in my head. Because that's what I do with Sonic, the Sonic soundtracks. I know the levels back to front, so I can
Really?
literally just go through the whole level, yeah, in my
That's such a
head.
fast game too.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a spaghetti brain, so you know.
Link's Brain confirmed one of the tracks in the next Sonic 2D game.
Actually, I actually agree with Leak here because half the time when I hear doo 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 doo, I'm just thinking
I do.
turn-based fucking Final Fantasy
I'll
13
be
going
honest.
in my head. I'm
I
like,
do. I do not like a lot about 13, but there are two motifs that I really enjoy. One is the motif that comes up in Blinded by Light. That do do do
yeah,
do
doo
do do do.
doo
That
doo
one.
doo.
And the second is Sarah's theme. I love Sarah's theme to death. It's my favorite piece in that entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
So
so
I
yeah,
agree
I
with
definitely,
I
I
agree
definitely
with
get you.
Leak on that one. I'm like thinking,
I
I'm like,
guess
oh
in
yeah.
that regard, mostly because me and some old mates have had like a running gag forever. Yeah, I guess for like tens normal battle theme, straight up.
Oh, Tens
Da
Normal
da
Battle
da da
seems
da da
godly.
da
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 da da
da. Yeah,
da.
like I
Yep,
guess
yep.
I could play it in my head, but that's not a way I normally do it. So it's really enough to hear how people like internalize their music. That's kind of cool. I dig
Oh,
that.
I do. I like games with like Shadow of the Colossus. I've already talked about how I completely immerse myself in Shadow of the Colossus. It's come to the point where if I hear the soundtrack, I feel the adrenaline from playing that game. I feel the adrenaline from fighting the Colossi, and especially the da 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 da
Da, da,
da
da.
da
Yeah,
da da
Yeah.
da. It's so fucking cool. It makes my heart race every time I hear.
that's interesting because I kind of wasn't entirely on board with the turn-based one, but that game I can imagine hearing the music and just playing through an encounter. Probably because I associate closer to like D&D and I think about D&D in a very similar way as that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, now I get where you're coming from. That I'm all about.
You see, I also agree with that because as we were talking about before we started the podcast, and you were gonna suggest Ridge Racer, all right? Anytime
Absolutely.
anytime I hear like Ridge Racer's the first Ridge Racer's rhythm or whatever, I immediately just think of the track like racing in that in that game, and I'm just like, it's so good. And then it goes without saying that like later on racing games when they start adopting like more modern music that wasn't like composed for the video game, I immediately
Mm.
think
Mistake.
of like I immediately think of like uh Little John, Little John and the East Side Boys, and every time I hear "brum dum dum," I'm like,
Oh
I'm like,
goodness.
fucking, I'm immediately into Need for Speed Underground. I'm just
Underground, yeah.
immediately there.
No, that's I didn't know that I had this association, but yeah, I also understand that.
I'm like, I'm in the driver's seat right now. That's all I am. And I'm fucking, I'm doing,
God, Underground one was
doing
so good.
Underground 1 and 2 were
I never played
godly.
two, but like one was this weird RPG racing game. It was super cool.
Yeah. And then you
Well,
wanted
racing
you
drifting.
wanted you brought up like Ridge Racer 4. I've never
I
played Ridge
do.
Racer 4. I grew up on Ridge Racer 1.
And
Um
honestly, Ridge Racer One has like it's a classic sound OST that I think a lot of people are going to be familiar with. But I genuinely remember sitting down and chilling at my aunt and uncle's house, listening to either him play through Ridge Racer or it's my turn to play. And I think Urban Fragments is the first theme. It's the Ridge Racer theme of R4, and it's just full of a very unique kind of music.
yeah.
um I don't even know what to call it because it's like electronic jazz, electronic funk, and it's all music that, like you said, was composed for the game. And I actually genuinely kind of do prefer this. A lot of it's probably nostalgia. No, because I go back and I still listen to it. I still think it's great.
Yeah.
It's just really really neat music that's so for this product.
Exactly. And
Enjoying the video? Remember to like and sub. Helps out the channel a bunch, and we're grateful for everyone we get.
it was so what I said like last week when we were talking about like what makes a game pass or play or whatever. Like half the time I won't know the OST until I actually play it. So obviously, when I first see something, it's we said the rule of cool. If we all look cool and everything.
Pretty much.
But I am immediately soured when the game doesn't have a good OST. All right,
Oh yeah,
and
an OST goes a long way to replayability for sure.
I'm always like that, and I'm always like that with any game where like the gameplay could be really fun, but if I'm not like bopping while I'm like playing this game, I'm just like I'm wanting to get through it as fast as I can. I'm like it may not be consciously I'm doing it, but like I'm subconsciously like I'm skipping battles. I'm not skipping cutscenes because only a psychopath skips cutscenes, but I'm like trying to edge my way to the end of this video game,
I
and
mean, I don't know that I can entirely get on board with. I mean, this is like a personal thing, right? But
yeah.
I think I look at it a slightly different way, especially because I like games wherein the music isn't always up front. For
Well, no, I like
instance,
ambiance as well.
yeah, yeah. Like for instance, like most Metal Gear music is just ambient music.
Yeah,
You
yeah, I
can
agree with
you
that.
can be forgiven for thinking that there isn't even anything really happening. You'd be wrong, but like I wouldn't blame you if you just didn't even realize it was so layered into the scene.
Like I give props.
Whereas then you have Devil May Cry, right?
No,
Blast that butt rock directly into my soul.
yeah, please, please, like give me an aux jack into my brain.
Yep.
Um, and I immediately recognize like when a game because like in I'll give some props to Zestiria. There were some parts in Zestiria where the game really called for no music, and all you got were like you're going through the forest or whatever, and there's no music, but you just hear the sounds of like the forest. Like I mean, there's like maybe some slight like orchestral stuff going, but nothing. But like maybe one or two instruments and nothing like loud, whatever. Just making it sound like you're walking through a forest. Um, and I definitely recognize like where that's needed. Because if there's a certain serious part that comes up and then you go into the forest and you're immediately hit with like some fucking up poppy music that
Sunlit
is
waterscapes.
yeah, exactly. You're immediately fucking hit with some of the waterscapes and you're just like or no, yeah. That actually, you know what? I'll agree with that because like in Sunless Waterscapes, like every time you're through it, like
Mm-hmm.
there's no ambience anywhere. It's just immediately you're hit with fucking late
A
2000s techno.
really, yeah, really, really peppy Sarah's theme.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely agree with that, and that's more of like sound design than it is like with OSTs, I guess.
It's direction, certainly.
Yeah.
It's knowing that no matter how good your score is, sometimes the correct sound is silence.
Yes. Definitely agree with that.
Hmm. But like I said, sometimes it does depend on what you're doing. Sometimes it's not. Like Final Fantasy is pretty good for having light ambient music, knowing when to come in and come out, really swell and all of that. Devil May Cry has no fucking chill ever.
No, Devil May
So
Cry has no. I mean, Devil May Cry only has chill when you're not fighting.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because the moment that any blade comes out, or there's a hint of a fight,
Yeah.
and it's
There's
always been like that. So
immediately guitars. Uh,
God, I could just talk about the individual ones. Um, so yeah, music is there to suit the needs of the story, and sometimes it's as simple as there is no story. This is a cool thing that is happening. In effect, fighting games.
yeah.
I love Tekken's music, but specifically because there are better ones. Tekken 3, Tekken Tag, and Tekken 5 have the best soundtracks in that whole series.
Tekken Tag is so good.
Tekken Tag
I can't pick out music
is
in Tekken Tag, but like holy.
so good.
But I remember playing a shit ton of Tekken Tag. Actually, I
Like,
played Tekken 2 and Tekken 3 as well.
I recognize drum and bass and dubstep and just like heavy on the electronic parts of electronic music is the way to go now. But man, Tekken used to do some experimental stuff, and it was really, really cool. Like, but honestly, the song that stands out to me the most is Jin's theme from Tekken 3. It's just rock and in your face and tells you so much about that character. Tells you more about the tells you more about the character in a better way than the story itself. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And this just it we're not here to tell a story. Realistically, we're here to beat heads, and ergo, you're just getting high impact, cool music. So we're back to the rule of cool in that regard.
Yeah.
But then you have Kingdom Hearts, right? Like, and I have a lot of very negative things to say about Kingdom Hearts. I am sorry that I have these opinions sometimes because I really really love the first and second game to death, but I really don't quite like the others. Except no matter how bad those games get, Yoko Shimomura pulls off some actual factual bangers. To this day, Traverse Town is still one of my favorite pieces to relax to.
Yeah,
Her
Trevor.
music is so good. One of my favorite pieces from the series is from a game that I have not played and a character I do not have strong feelings for.
Is that
Music por Triste de Sion. Music for
that's
the
yeah, Shion's theme.
Sorrow of Shion is
Yeah.
so good. Oh, it just captures so much about what's happening. It uses bits of Kyrie's theme. I think it uses bits of Roxas's theme, The Other Promise. It's so good. My goodness. The Other Promise itself is wonderful. You have big bombastic pieces like all of the battle stuff, Forze de Male, and uh, Destati. Holy crap!
No, don't get me
It's
even
just so
started on
good.
Destati, because Destati has a there's a Twitter for Destati, and they also they rearrange their own like music for Kingdom Hearts as well, and it's so good.
Yeah, like I'm
Uh,
never gonna have anything bad to say about Yoko Shimomura. She's like easily more than half the reason I played any of the games after Kingdom Hearts 1.
fucking there is a piece of Kingdom Hearts music that if Dearly Beloved didn't exist, um, this piece of music would be probably the greatest piece in Kingdom Hearts. And it is um, Fate of the Unknown, which is the big battle theme for not battle theme, but like the big cutscene theme for Birth by Sleep. It's the
Yes.
music
Oh my
playing the birth
goodness.
plays during the Birth by Sleep cinematic, and it plays in the game Birth by Sleep. That
God, it was
piece,
so good.
like it perfectly spells out the feeling that you have when watching this cinematic, or like what's going on in that part of the game. And it's just it like I said, I've put that on repeat, because like there's that piece where it goes dun, 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 where it's just like it's like honestly kind of like that point in Shiva's theme in Return to Oblivion in
Hmm.
E8S, where it's where the music's just like I think when you're doing that one mechanic, but the music is actually lining up with the mechanic or whatever, and you have like the fucking like drums going on in the background. It's the same thing with that song. Like the music just hits with the cinematic, and that music just hits even when you're not watching the cinematic. It's just
If I had to choose a song that wasn't Dearly Beloved, because I think Dearly Beloved is the correct choice. I can understand every other choice, but I'm right there with you when it comes to Dearly Beloved. If that didn't exist, the next piece that I think makes me the most happy when I listen to it is the Kingdom Orchestra. It's it plays it's goodness. It's essentially simple and clean, but the orchestrated version, it's not
oh yeah,
Hikari. Not that one. It's one that plays like before Kingdom Hearts 1 starts. It's just big and beautiful and slow, and it's the build up in the beginning. I really like it. God,
yeah.
I wish I still liked this series the way I used to.
Here's a
Mhm.
question.
Mm,
Oh
What's
wait, can
what?
I answer one?
Yeah,
yeah.
yes, you
Like, 'cause I
can.
hadn't talked about my
Yeah.
fave character theme. Hello. So yes, yeah. No, my favorite. I'm gonna go back to Chrono Trigger again because my favorite character theme to listen to is Frog's, because Frog as a character is a tragic character.
Yeah, yes.
Uh, he is a tragic character. You go back in time to a an older version of the world that Chrono lives in, and by happen chance you bump into a frog man. And throughout the story, you learn of how he came to be in such a form, and find out he's an extremely noble character that felt he basically failed at a task he'd been given and wanted to redeem himself in some way. And his music reflects this. Um, if you listen to it, it's such a like impactful song, melody, even sorry, and like it just reflects his character so well.
It's a really noble piece.
I actually
Hmm
It's still
haven't heard
playful in
hmm
the way that like a lot of those pieces from Chrono Trigger are, but like yeah, it tells a really nice story. I agree.
the the hot take of
hmm
I've
hmm
never played
hmm
Chrono Trigger.
Routinely surprises me.
Oh, young man.
I have somebody on Twitter named Chrono Katie that always literally posts nothing but Chrono Trigger stuff. I'm just like, I've never played the game.
Ah, please,
Hmm.
please, it's very good. The story is well crafted. They handle time travel really well.
They do, yeah.
I do like time travel. I do like
Yeah.
the time travel motif if it's done very well.
And the combat's
It's
way more
done very
dynamic
well.
than you'd think.
I'll get to it at one point.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be an Endwalker.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're gonna have Lavos, and we're going to Zeal.
Yeah.
I think this is a pretty good time for me to get into this part of the conversation. So music's
mhm.
kind of changed over the years. We've been able to do more with it,
Mhm.
higher quality, add more instruments, get like full on orchestras for video games. But when you ask people what their favorite pieces are, a lot of the time they go back to like super simple pieces, like ones that they could hum along to.
Mhm.
And I think even now, when you have a piece of music that has like a really simple melody, or one that's like a super refined melody that's easy to play along to, whether it's humming, singing, or playing an instrument to, those end up being like the big ones.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, love Devil May Cry, love all these big lyric things, but like, fuck me, to Xanakin is great. It's so good. Dearly Beloved, so good. Frog's theme, Chrono Cross. I mean, all of those things. They, especially for the older ones, where they were so simple that you had to know. Like the Crystal Prelude is the way it is because it had to be simple. It's
For
just
those
an
who fight.
Mhm.
arpeggio.
For those who fight.
Exactly, exactly. There are all these things with a super strong melody, and we've seen them later on get brought up to like these big orchestral standards, but they always keep that strong central melody. And I find that a lot of the times in games, there's one or two pieces that are like that, right? Because you have to have your identifier piece.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But there's been more and more of just this ambience. And there are some games that's always been there. Metal Gear Solid is not a very rich game for music per se, but like the games like Final Fantasy, they always had that. And
Well,
then we got
Metal Gear
on
Solid
later and
doesn't
later.
need doesn't need that. Or at least
No, it would be
at least
harmed
Snake
for it.
Eater at least Snake Eater didn't need it because you know you just wanted to listen to Snake Eater, you just climbed the ladder.
Oh goodness, listen, young man, that's not what I meant.
I will offer you. I will. That's really good. It's basically James Bond. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It is. Oh my goodness. It's not even like it. He's clearly ripping it, and no one cares. We all love it.
Yes. I'll offer you a series that has a very distinct sound, no matter what title it is in the genre. It's always that underlining thing.
Wait, can I guess it?
Begins with K. Yeah,
Oh
it
no,
begins
never
with
mind.
K.
No, no, never mind. I can't. I was gonna say Dragon Quest because Dragon Quest always starts out having like
I love Dragon Quest, but it isn't that. No.
no. Its orchestral
Okay,
music is really good.
No, I agree. Okay, here's a clue. Do, 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 do.
You
So that's
real
what a
show
K?
our ass.
Da 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 da.
This is not a reflection on your ability. We are
No,
just
this is
smooth brain at the moment.
yeah, we are definitely smooth.
Katamari Damacy.
Oh
Oh, we
no,
love
Of
Katamari.
you had to do this.
Yeah,
Na 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 na.
I did.
she did, yeah.
Well,
That's why I feel
you
so silly.
I think you did do
I
that.
recognize it in retrospect.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. Okay.
that's
Yeah.
a good
No.
that's a good call. When you said K, I was worried. It's like, I
Yeah.
hope she's not going to say Klonoa. I don't know it well enough.
I hope you were gonna say King
No.
of Fighters. 'Cause I don't even play that.
No. Yeah, Katamari Damacy has this very unique, like, you can tell that a soundtrack is from this game just because
Oh,
how
yeah.
quirky it is. It has its very own distinct character. Actually, yeah, no, go ahead. You're gonna say something.
No. I think you're just absolutely right. And like, yeah, like having an identity is a big part of it. And I feel like we've lost that in some games. And it's a lot of games wanted to become. The plan was always to be a movie, a playable movie, and we've gotten there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I often get to make this comparison. And while it's not strictly speaking gaming, let's see how it goes because this might not have aged well. There's like 18 movies in the series now. Can anyone remember the Avengers theme?
I know the X-Men theme.
Oh, we're gonna get
No,
there. Hey,
no. I know the '90s cartoon X-Men song. I don't know the fucking movie one.
oh yeah, exactly. This is my point. Does
Yeah.
anyone know the Captain America theme,
No,
the
No.
Iron Man theme,
no.
Nope.
Thor's
I
theme?
am Iron Man.
Not actually his theme. He actually has a
I
really
know.
nice theme.
Yeah, no.
But here we go.
Yeah,
Can you tell me the Spider-Man theme?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
That's the one. That
Spider-Man.
is correct. It has just been brought up to recent. It's
Yep.
this big like choral version, but that's the base.
Yes,
And
yes.
this is my point. As we get more to these big, intricate, beautiful themes, like I like the Avengers theme. Da 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 da
Oh,
dum
Oh, I
yeah.
know
da.
that
I
one. Yeah,
remember it
Da,
yeah.
now.
da,
I
da,
remember.
da, da. Yeah, it's great
Yeah.
and it's beautiful, but it's absolutely not as memorable as Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
You see, even without the lyrics though, because like I knew like the sound of sound of
Yeah.
Spider-Man's theme before I knew the lyrics because
Exactly. And does anyone remember the I think the final trailer to the first Spider-Man movie?
Mm-hmm.
The final
no, that
trailer
is
to the first
so
Spider-Man
old.
movie ends with da 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 da, and
It
Da da
does.
da. Yeah.
everyone lost their minds. They're like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the theme. We love to hear it. They brought it back."
Yeah. And they always reference it in the instrumentals as well.
It's true.
Here and there. They do.
Like, it's a great motif. Like, and this is what I mean. Like, having these simple, like, gripping pieces mean a lot. And if you lose them in favor of like these momentarily beautiful and like impactful themes, sure, that's cool. But if I ask the question, "Hey, do you know the Avengers theme?" and no one can hum it, how good was it really?
No, I know the X-Men theme though, but
Well, you
I
know the
guess
'90s X-Men
yeah,
theme.
I know the
I
90s
know
X-Men.
the '90s cartoon.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. It's so
It's
Yeah, yeah,
amazing.
that's
It's so good.
But yeah, I think like if you really want to like have your music withstand like the test of time, you need one theme, at least one theme that is that memorable.
yeah.
I agree.
They actually use that. They use that X-Men theme for the movies.
Did they? I don't
Yeah,
remember
They
this.
probably they
it's a
probably
more
do.
orchestral version of it, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
Um,
and there was a
Uh,
time when I was worried about stuff like this. Like, I know there's a lot of stuff in 11 that's really good. I don't remember it like I remember 10. I don't remember any of 12's themes very well. I thought 12 had a fairly weak OST, despite if you listen to it, those songs are amazing. They're put together
yeah.
so well, and they're so great for the purpose that they're used for. Can you hum a 12 theme?
No, I cannot hum a 12 theme, but
I
that's
I
mainly because I
can't.
really do not like 12.
No, I like 12 a bit.
No.
There are aspects about 12 I'm really keen on. Um, yeah, and but they did fix that for 13 because
Oh,
Blinded
yeah.
by Light and Lightning and Sarah's motifs are both grand.
Yeah. I mean, and actually, what's the weird thing about 13's music, right? Because when I do think of Final Fantasy 13, it is Blinded by Light, it is Nut Lightning and Sarah's theme, or whatever. But they also had Leona Lewis do a song for
My Hands.
yeah, they had My Hands
Did
for
that
13.
appear in the game though?
I
I
think
d-
it appeared in the credits.
okay, because like I remember hearing that in trailers and going, "That's such a lovely song."
Yeah,
I can't wait for the set piece where someone sings that, and being horribly disappointed that it never appeared.
they had, I think it was in the credits or like at the end of the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it was
yeah.
promotional
Because
material.
no, it happened. It happened right at the end, during the last cutscene.
When they're
where
all walking
yeah,
away
when they're all
from.
walking, yeah,
Did
from
it? Oh,
the
okay.
crystal, yeah. And then in the same with 13-2, they had a set piece song for the end of 13-2.
I do not remember that.
I remember it because I was angry and happy at the same time at the end of 13-2, because when
I
they killed
understand.
Sarah
I
right at the
really
end.
like that ending.
I know I love that ending, and everybody was like, "No, the ending sucked because you like blah blah blah." No, I'm like, no, they were brave. They were brave in this ending. It was written so well. Like in the beginning, you knew that if Sarah kept using that power, she was going to die, and she did. They kept there wasn't no Deus Ex Machina shit happening. Um, and then Lightning Returns fucked that all up. But the song's called New World, I think, for 13-2. But yeah, that I do think of that Leona Lewis song when I think of 13, which I don't know if she was contracted to make that for 13, or if that was just a song that she
No,
had.
that's her song from like her second album.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but I mean they're good at, usually Square's good at like, they're like, oh well, we like this song and this song fits well in our game.
I thought they were
Actually,
pretty good. I thought they were pretty good at making their own too.
yeah,
Say what you will about it being cheesy and perhaps not as great lyrically and musically as it could have been. Eyes on Me is great.
yeah. I was telling you it's great. And they had that one song for fucking 15. Um,
Oh, but again, that's
yeah, that
that's
song, yeah,
what is her name? Oh my goodness. Anyways, I forget who it was, but she sang "Stand by Me," and don't get me wrong, it's
yeah,
beautiful. I really like it, but it's not like "Melodies of Life" or "Eyes on
yeah.
Me," where that's that game's song. That is this song that everyone knows, which is great for promotion and advertisements.
Also,
Fucking phenomenal
a
idea.
thousand. You say what you want about 10-2, but 1,000 words is actually pretty good.
I look. What can I do for you? 1,000 words, whatever other song Eunice sings. I'm sure it's very good. It comes from a game that I have issues with.
Yeah, no,
That is
yeah,
my
same.
bias speaking, full on.
But then you have to think about, like, it follows a game that literally starts with two Xanarkin and Jack's theme.
Oh, Otherworld.
Yeah. So 10
Oh boy.
literally starts with two of the strongest fucking songs in Final Fantasy history.
I would agree with you, sir.
So, for as much as 10-2 sucks, I think 1,000 words is really good. Um, well, Leak point, like, said something about this, because she pointed out like one of her favorite character themes or whatever. Like, what's your favorite character theme?
Oh, that's hard. Is it Eunice theme?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Eunice theme? No. Let's think about the bigger picture. I'm so hung up on Final Fantasy at the moment. Is it though? There's Devils Never Cry for Dante. That's strong. There's Bury the Light for Virgil, which
Virgil,
is even
so
stronger
good.
somehow. Supergiant. I don't think those are all character themes though. In the Blood is pretty much um the theme of Zagreus and Persephone. Like I said, I really like Jin's theme, but no, I think I do have to go back to Final Fantasy, specifically 10. And yeah, I think. Oh no, a Man with a Machine Gun.
No, I was about to say. I was about to say,
Specifically, the Distant Worlds version. Man,
yeah.
I love that theme. It's so out of place in that game. I love it to death, though.
Too bad.
That's
But
such a
eight's a
that's
bad
such a
game.
hard that's such a hard question. How dare you ask that?
How dare I ask it? Well, it is not really that hard for me. While I bathe myself in Trails music, and Blue Destination is one of those songs that I could easily just pick because uh, Blue Destination is really good, and that's considered pretty much considered Crow's theme, um, for Trails of Cold Steel 2. I'm
Okay,
gonna
okay.
have to I'm gonna have to go with a bit of recency bias here because literally every time I hear this song, I'm literally filled with like, man, this is just fucking badass. All right, and I'm gonna go with Zvid's theme because
It
Zvid's
is
theme is
really good.
so well put together. It starts off very slow and then it's like dun 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 dun, and it like it makes you feel like you're in like a western, but like it's like a techno western, and like you just see Zavid pop up and he's like, and then Ian Sinclair
So,
just talks, and then you just hear Ian
and then it's
Sinclair.
Ian Sinclair who's so good.
And I'm just like, oh man, like you can. Tails has almost never like, I mean, Yuri's in like Yuri's like in a whole different badass level or whatever. I have not seen a better put together badass Tails character than Zavid. All right, down to his writing, down to his voice actor, down to his theme. All right, it just all works for him.
Helps when you get more than one game to turn up too.
Yeah, definitely helps. Especially, I mean, you do hear Zavid's theme in Berseria because I've ran into him twice and it does play. So you don't hear it as often as you hear it in Zestiria, but you do hear it,
Understandable.
um, which is great. It's just, like, I mean the only other character theme I can like compare it to is also in the same game, which is Magulu's theme. But Magulu's theme is like, it's like super catchy and it fits Magulu and all that stuff, and it's like really nice. But I could honestly put Zavid's theme on repeat. So, and I normally don't like zone in on like character themes that much, because in most games, while they're really good, there's a lot of set piece themes that just kind of dwarf them.
This is going to come down to preference as to what you like about a game, I feel.
Yeah.
Because for me, I adore character themes. I think a good character theme tells you a lot about the character.
Well, you have it's different from game to game though, because
This is true.
you
That's why I specifically used a good character theme.
because in DMC, that game is just riddled with character themes.
Yep, and all of those songs tell the story of the character
Yeah.
they're going at. I still, to this day, fucking hate Subhuman because I don't think it's a very good fit for Dante. I get it covers a lot of his tropes and maybe some things that happened, but Devils Never Cry, so much better. So much better.
Okay. And I agree. But and to be fair, if you had to like zone in on just Devil May Cry, or I don't think anything
Mm.
beats Bury the Light.
It's so good. It's butt rock. I grant you this. It's so compelling though.
It's great butt rock though. It's just
It's so it is. Virgil's
it's
such an
just
edgy tryhard, and the song is so perfect.
mm.
And the story it's telling is also very good. I think,
It's also the most memed song ever.
Oh
yeah,
well.
holy crap. Like, Devil Trigger was memed on, Subhuman was completely ignored, V's theme, which it's a shame, it's actually pretty good. I forget the name of it though. Completely ignored. Bury the Light, we never want to hear anything else.
Yeah. No.
This is the song the crow sings over the partridge.
I want to
Yeah.
hear other lyrical verses, but all I hear is "I am the storm that is approaching." That's all I hear.
It's fine. It's fine. Like that song brings a level of hype based off that one memed segment, and I'm fine with this.
Yeah. No, I'm in the same boat, and I'm trying to think. There's a game that we that I at least play that is riddled with like a bunch of character themes, and it all tells the story.
Yeah, it's called Kingdom Hearts.
No, it's not that, man. I'm probably never gonna think about it. Um, so I don't want to like get my brain caught up on like trying to think
Sure,
about it.
sure.
but it's just one that we always like. We look at the lyrics. Oh, you know what? It's not even a video game. Never mind. I actually just thought of it. It's Ruby.
Oh, yeah, that would do it. That's not a
Yeah,
video game. They have video
that's
games,
they
but
have
not a
video
video
games,
game.
but yeah. Um, and that's getting into a whole nother conversation. No, yeah, definitely Zavid's theme. I can't think of any other actual characters' themes that and like, again, this comes from like me recently just playing these games. If I went back and had to play like other games, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is a really great character theme, but I never like zone in on character themes. I'm more of like because character themes are just like moving parts of an OST, while the over like the big numbers are like kind of like the gigantic like gears and cogs of a
Sure, because you have things like I'm going to use Crisis Core for this because I think it's pretty good. You have Price of Freedom, which is the soft tender moments, or the
mm-hmm.
because it's a motif that's used for a bunch of different or it's a leitmotif that's used for a bunch of different things. But you have Price of Freedom, and then you have Sister Ray, which is the scene everyone remembers from Crisis Core, and that frenetic, frantic violin piece as Genesis and Sephiroth are genuinely trying to kill
Oh
each other.
yeah, oh god, that's so
So
good.
it is a part of one sets an emotion as the scene moves on, and one is literally one third of the scene. Without it, it's not as impactful.
You brought up Seven actually, so
I love some
that
Seven
new
music.
the new piece that they made for Remake, the one that plays at the end of Remake, I forget what it's called.
Oh,
um
okay. Shoot. My turn to forget its name.
yeah, i I don't remember what it's called, but I was watching Faye because she completed the main story again. um that I was actually blown away by that because it's so simple. Like the song is, it's just a low tone like song. It's never like
Hollow? No. Hollow, yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's the one that like kind of starts off with like with the harmonica
Yes, yes, yes.
that plays right at the end of the game, like in the final scene. Which honestly, I think that song was masterfully crafted just for that scene.
It was, and it's dangerous, right? They're adding this to an established OST that is beloved.
Yeah.
Like, that's a hell of a move. And it's a
Um.
lyrical song, which I think, and that can go either way.
Yeah. But I think they hit it. They bullseyed it with that song
It's quite good.
because it definitely like I mean that the ending hits you in the feels for any Final Fantasy VII fan or like previous Final Fantasy VII fan before playing this. The changes hit you in the feels with the music and um and actually, you know, honestly, there's only one other
It's quite good.
because it definitely like I mean that the ending hits you in the feels for any Final Fantasy VII fan or like previous Final Fantasy VII fan before playing this. The changes hit you in the feels with the music and um and actually, you know, honestly, there's only one other
It's quite good.
because it definitely like I mean that the ending hits you in the feels for any Final Fantasy VII fan or like previous Final Fantasy VII fan before playing
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
where you're going from this new piece that they made for Genova, all right,
To
into
Genova.
to actual Genova. And like I'm
Yeah.
like sitting here playing because it's like this, you know, it's this badass fucking fight against Genova tentacle monster, all right. And then phase 3 hits and it and just immediately goes, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is fucking genius. Like the people that work on these soundtracks, they obviously they've have been working on OSTs for years and years and years and have had their schooling and know their music and all that stuff. I think honestly, composers are the giga brains of the world.
Yeah. You got to make,
Honestly,
they have to, in a certain amount of time, produce a piece for a scene, a character, and an arc, a feeling sometimes.
Yeah.
They a lot is asked of them because music does so much to carry an emotional moment.
That's why I say. This is why I said last week. Honestly, the soundtrack is more important than gameplay to me. Because
Yeah, it's a huge part. This is true.
I can hate, like I'm gonna hate doing turn based like grid style combat, right? Tile turn based combat. I'm gonna hate doing that. I'm gonna hate probably doing that when I play Super Robot Wars, all right? But the moment G Boom Whoa pops up when I'm doing an attack with like Lelouch, all right, I'm in it. I don't fucking care what I'm doing. All right, that's one of my favorite songs of all time, and is by Flow. All right, and it's a song they specifically made for Code Geass. All right.
Oh, I've got a question because I
Yeah.
think uh, given the answers we've all given so far, it
Mm-hmm.
appears to me that there are biases here.
Oh yeah.
Leak has named a bunch of songs that are lyricless. They have just really
Yeah.
strong melodies.
Hmm.
You have named a bunch of songs that are lyrical, with
I
like
love
where the
lyrics, man.
melody is just the lyric is the driving force. And like I said, I mean, I've gone between Final Fantasy and Devil May Cry, so I am
Mm-hmm.
literally doing both depending on the day.
Well, I mean, I gave you one, Dearly Beloved. Dearly
It's
Beloved
true,
doesn't
and
have lyrics.
everything else has been lyrical.
Yeah, true.
So
No, Duel of the
but
Fates
this
doesn't
isn't
have lyrics. Or
this
not
isn't
Duel of the Fates, fucking yeah, Fate of the Unknown don't have lyrics.
this isn't me calling anyone out. Like I said, this
Yeah.
is just from what I've seen this far. Is this a thing that you can go on? Like, is this your preference? Do you prefer a song with lyrics to drive the emotion of the scene in a very like
I
matter of
think it
fact way where you
helps.
get to tell the story?
I think it. I think it. I think it's one thing I gravitate towards because I love like I love songs with lyrics or whatever. But I don't think it's obviously it's not absolutely needed. Like
Sure.
and I've said like my favorite character theme is Zavid's theme and it doesn't have any
No
lyrics
lyrics there. This is true.
or Magulu's theme. I love Dearly Beloved. I love Fate of the Unknowns. I love Chazanarkan and I love Otherworld. Or it's Otherworldly, whatever.
No, it's otherworld.
Otherworld. I love that. And it's not obviously it's not needed. Um, but I am a sucker for like really like and it comes down to be obviously being catchy, all right?
Okay,
But
that was
like
gonna be my next question. Is it just think that you like vibing with it, singing along with
I think
it,
lyrics
or
make a song like obviously lyrics make an OST very catchy.
yeah,
As
yeah,
long
that's fair.
um and it yeah I don't know like I mean yeah I love lyrics so a lot of my favorite songs are gonna have lyrics in them but I mean I do love the lyricless ones
Mhm.
especially if they are catchy because obviously songs can be like super fucking catchy without having lyrics in them um
No, that's
but
fair. What about you? What about you? Like I put Aqua on blast for like. Do
yeah
you do you find yourself attracted more to the lyric less, the just strong melodical and instrumental pieces?
Mm, just because due to the nature of what my day to day is, I go for lyricless because I am working at the time I'm usually listening to something.
Mm-hmm. Easier to
But
not lose focus.
yeah, I don't know, like if I'm walking or in the shower, just belting out a song, I prefer lyrical songs, with strong themes and stuff like that.
Sure.
Usually, oh gosh, not so much. Actually probably power ballad style
Power
yes
ballad. Can you give me an
would suit
example?
that.
I'm
Yeah,
super into knowing what this is gonna be.
I mean the Shadowbringers theme is pretty good
Okay.
example.
yeah
No, that's
yeah
fine. This is an entirely acceptable answer. Absolutely.
same with the Endwalker theme. Endwalker theme slaps too.
Mm.
Definitely helps
Mhm.
that it has the guy from the Architects in it.
Yeah, holy crap. There's an
uh,
OST that I probably like more than I let on. I really do like the Revengeance theme.
oh God, man,
Or
I
not
I
theme, but
need to
OST.
play. I need to play Revengeance because I know how memey that fucking game is.
Ah, God, the music is so much better than the game, but the game is so it's fun it's fun in its narrative. The gameplay is kind of only iffy, if I'm honest, but like it's such a playful take on such a dark goddamn situation. And you've heard the music from it, like it's crazy. And I can't say nonsense. It's just like it's so over the top. It's
Yeah.
almost riding the line of parody. It's so ridiculous,
Oh, I love
but it's
that.
really cool.
Well, this is a topic we can
Forever.
literally talk about forever.
I could go on for hours and hours about an individual game's OST. Now, if you give me free reign on all of them, I'll talk until I'm hoarse.
Yeah, no, that's the same because I like it takes every being in my power not to just keep linking stuff as we're talking. Because like, I'm just like link, and you mean you know me? I throw anime openings at you guys like for days. I'm like, here, listen to this
Let's
because this
no
is
no no.
fucking badass.
You throw compilation anime
Oh
openings at
yeah,
us.
true.
For
Well, okay, well when you have a series that has nothing but fucking slaps, man. All right. You can't just like like I mean fucking Fairy Tale, like almost every single fucking opening for Fairy Tale is a banger, and I can't just link one, and if I do just link one, it's going to be the first one because the first one's the best. But
I look forward to the fights in chat about how Fairy Tale is trash.
I mean it's only going to be Little telling me that Fairy Tale's trash.
Like
But
I
yeah.
say, I look forward to the fight.
um but I mean yeah, that's just me. And then again, that I mean, it has lyrics, so like obviously, like anime openings are made to be catchy, right? So, or like sometimes they're made to be catchy. Then you have Elfenlied, that's just like a very sad anime
Lillian?
opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lillian is oof.
um, but yeah, no, I mean, I could go for days. You could go for days. This is the perpetual fucking uh Captain America meme where I can go for days, or I'm just getting started. Um,
I could do this all day.
I could do
I
this
know.
all day. I could do this all day. But we actually literally can't do this all day because you've got to go to school. At some point in time, probably tomorrow, and Leek has a kid to look after. So we're
Oh
gonna have to stop.
yes.
We're gonna have to stop this right here. That being said, what are you guys doing this week?
I'm gonna be playing through 10 again, and then going back to
Yeah,
Zillia because
yeah.
I am enjoying Zillia, but I can't talk about music like this. I'm just hearing Titus's theme, Yuna's theme, Tazanakin, People of the Mountain, Seymour's theme, Jack's theme, Otherworld, the Hymn of the Faith. Oh, I'm a wreck.
So I actually watched a video about 10 last night. It was this dude that decided to just for the sake of answering a silly question, what would happen if Tidus one-shotted the slime at the beginning of his like quest, right? There's just like these few like monsters that they have to fight, and one the
Mhm.
end one is the slime where Lulu comes in and like ganks it with magic and and it's like a tutorial, right? So this
Yeah.
guy, to answer this question to see if there's any change with dialogue or anything, he grinded Tidus for ages and ages and ages and ages until he could one shot this slime. And unfortunately, his time was completely wasted because the whacker said exactly the same thing, and then the monster was dead. But he's like, "No, you have to beat it with magic, Tidus." And it's like, and then Lulu came in. So this is what you do. Like it's exactly the same. And Tidus is like, you probably if like headcanon would be like, but I
But I did
just
it. Oh,
so he was yeah, he was like at the end, well, that was the answer to my stupid question. Nothing changed. I wasted my time.
you know what's interesting about that is I have also done this, but not using that monster. The game
Ah,
introduces Orin at the Mihan High Road, and it introduces him with a big old heavy enemy that you're not
Yeah.
meant to be able to kill. I 100% killed it. before he could go. And Orin literally turns to you and goes, okay, turns out Orin doesn't like being one-upped.
he's like, damn kid.
I was here to teach you what's wrong with you. You and your goddamn father.
Oh, I could just imagine comics of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Zilia
that's my
and
plan.
10.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Zillion 10.
Lake,
I'm gonna do what I do every week.
try to take over the
Play
world.
14 and D&D. Yeehaw!
Oh.
I don't know why I'm saying it
Yeehaw.
like this. I'm that tired. I'm that tired.
Thanks,
Yes,
Minnie.
sir. Yeah, I was gonna say that was her shot at the Mickey voice.
Oh, if I want to do Mickey Mouse, like, I'm coming for you.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, it's the
Say
king.
your prayers.
Oh, bad flashbacks.
I can't even do. Have you tried? Have you tried doing Donald's voice? I
I'm
cannot
not-
do it for the
not-
life
I've
of me.
tried,
I've even
and
watched
yeah.
YouTube videos on how to do Donald's voice.
We'll leave that to Prodigy.
As far as I can go, it's.
That's pretty good, actually.
Almost legible. You can
Yeah.
almost hear words.
Yeah.
Okay, caffeine. That's what I'm doing this week.
So
I'm
much
not
caffeine.
even making any more fucking sense anymore.
Yeah. I am gonna be playing Berseria.
Enjoy
Actually might start up a stream again right after this.
it. Mhm.
Because I just want to play more. And I'll be playing Monster Hunter Stories too. I'm playing that Office stream because I don't want to play anything other than Tales on stream. So it's been my like, if I don't want to stream or anything, I just like boot up Monster Hunter Stories too, and I just keep smacking a bunch of Monsies. And that's all I plan on doing this week. I mean, if I beat Berseria quick enough, I'm gonna load up Zilia.
Join me.
Yes, I love that. I just love that. It's the last game I've platted. Actually, Zilia's the last game I've platted.
I'm gonna love this. I'm gonna come back to Zillion. And he's already gonna be past me.
No, God no. I still have to get through Berseria, man. I'm not even through it yet. And I have to go to work at times. So,
Wow, this is true. I have hope.
but you know what else we're gonna be doing, right? We're preparing. We're gonna be preparing for next week's episode. That's right,
Yeah,
guys.
we are.
We have a nice special episode next week with a guest.
Yes.
It's gonna be about Tales of Arise. Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? And our very special guest is none other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, JRPG. Yes, that's right.
Woo!
Woo. All right, I'll put it out there now. I'm getting my second vaccine shot the day before, so I will not.
wait.
I will probably either be completely worse than I am now, or just not present. So
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I will be either mid fever craze or completely unconscious. So
But yeah,
This is going to be fun.
it's gonna be a great episode.
Okay.
I can't wait to talk about nothing but Tales of Arise, especially with somebody that's probably played a good bit of it already. Yeah, I'm so happy you agreed to come on. So be prepared for next week. I don't know how fast we'll get the episode out, but we will record next week on Monday, and it'll be out probably by the time Arise actually comes out.
Here's to
So, yeah.
hoping.
Yeah.
yes.
So I think that's it for this week, guys, and we're gonna head off. Dalt's gonna sleep. Leek's gonna take care of her kid, and I'm gonna probably play some Berseria. So
You'll
have
be
a good night.
now. Bye.
See. Bye bye.
Before you go, remember to like, comment, and sub to us. Not only does it help out the channel and let us know what you're into, but it also makes you 100% cooler than everybody else. I checked with Aqua. It's definitely true.